A charity set up by Harry and Meghan spent half of its funds on administration costs. A report on the MWX Foundation by the Charity Commission cleared it of misusing money. But it has been given regulatory advice, and it has been revealed half the charity's funds were spent on administration and legal costs. The Commission has found that decisions on spending were not adequately documented. The Commission opened a case into the charity, established by the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, in July last year, after concerns were raised about the use of funds received from the charity the Royal Foundation. The Royal Foundation was a joint charity initially set up by Harry, William, Meghan, and Kate together. The charity was investigated after Republic, which campaigns for an elected head of state, reported the Sussexes and the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge's foundations to the Commission for alleged inappropriate use of charitable funds, conflicts of interest, and lack of independence. Republic has issued a lengthy apology on its website, saying that it falsely claimed the transfer of funds was improper and likely to be unlawful, and that it failed to contact the Royal Foundation or Sussex Royal before going to the Commission and the media. The pressure group said, "If we had contacted the organizations directly, we accept we would have realized quickly that there was nothing improper in their operations." The Charity Commission has now concluded its review and found that all activities of the charities were lawful and proper. "We apologize unreservedly to the charities and personally to the Duke of Sussex for our actions and the public damage that has been caused as a result of widely publicized untrue claims." MWX Foundation received an unrestricted grant of £145,000 from the Royal Foundation to start up the charity in 2019. A further £151,855 was received from the Royal Foundation to deliver Travelist's sustainable travel program, which was transferred by MWX Foundation to Travelist. In July 2020, the trustees made the decision to wind up the MWX Foundation. The regulator found the transfer of funds to MWX was in line with the governing document of the Royal Foundation and allowed under charity law. The transfer of funds by MWX to Travelist was also lawful. Travelist could receive charitable funds for the promotion of sustainable travel only, which is a charitable activity in law. There was no evidence to suggest that any conflicts of interest between MWX and Travelist were managed inappropriately. The Commission has provided the charity with regulatory advice to ensure that the funds transferred to Travelist are applied for exclusively charitable purposes, and the Commission and the charity have agreed how the charity will comply with this guidance. The regulator also looked at MWX Foundation's expenditure, finding almost half of its funds were spent on legal and administrative costs. Trustees can legitimately use charitable funds for legal advice and other professional and administrative costs to set up and close a charity and ensure it can operate effectively. The Commission noted that trustees took a decision to close this charity just 12 months after it was established, doing so during difficult and unexpected circumstances. It considers that the spending itself was not unreasonable given the unexpected events and unique circumstance which surrounded this charity, and as such does not consider that further action is required. However, The Commission has found that decisions on spending were not adequately documented, limiting the ability of the trustees to demonstrate the reasons behind those decisions. The failure to properly record decisions does not represent best practice and is not in line with Charity Commission guidance. As in this case, the Commission accepts that trustees cannot predict future events when setting up charities. However, its general guidance is that those establishing a new charity must carefully consider whether doing so is the best and most efficient way of achieving the intended charitable aims, ensuring as far as possible that initial costs are offset by the charity's longer-term impact. Helen Erner, Director of Regulatory Services at the Charity Commission, said, "The public expects charities to make a real positive difference for the people they help or the cause they pursue. Where concerns are raised with us, whatever the charity, it's right that we examine them and consider the issues carefully. In this case, we have found that the trustees complied with their duties under charity law, and the transfers of funds between different organizations were in keeping with the charity's governing documents, with conflicts of interest being appropriately managed." The NWX Foundation should, though, have done more to document its decisions, especially regarding the charity's expenditure on legal and administrative costs. We also note that a substantial proportion of funds went into setting up and then winding up a charity that was active for a relatively short period of time. Trustees cannot predict future events when establishing a new charity. Circumstances can change after a charity has been set up. But all trustees, before setting up the charity, should think about the longer term and consider carefully whether a new charity is the best way of achieving the intended aims. This helps ensure that setup costs are offset by longer-term impact. As the charity is the process of winding up, and in addition to formal advice regarding the application of the funds to Travelist, the Commission has offered the charity general guidance regarding the dissolution process. A separate case was opened into the Royal Foundation to investigate the decision to transfer funds to MWX Foundation. The Commission found the trustees of the Royal Foundation acted in accordance with the regulator's guidance and found no issues of concern.